welcome back. It's Christine again with the Artist Pod, and today we are going to be drawing a red-headed woodpecker's eye. So let's get arting. And so as you can see, we've already drawn out the woodpecker. So oftentimes around bird's eyes, you can see, a ring of skin or whatever where the feathers sort of dissipate right around a certain section. And with this woodpecker, that's no different. And so we'll just fill this in. But it is under the feathers, so I need to be mindful that the feathers would be casting some shadow. And you can see I'm changing it a bit to make sure it's rounded. When I sketched it, it was a pretty rough sketch. That should be fine. So light source is coming from, over here, kind of this way. So therefore, we're going to have some highlight over here. That highlight is going to quickly be going into shadow as this rounds kind of down towards the eye. And then we're going to have some highlight right against the eye, but the light source is coming in here, and that highlight would be kicking in right around here. Now there will be some light catching along the middle portion, even though it's not going right up against the eye. There is some shadow cast there, but that would still be catching it. All right. So now we've got to draw the eye. Their eyes are brown, so I'm just going to pick a nice kind of reddish brown here, but I don't want it to be too dark. So the first thing we do, like always, is we draw the pupil, and then we're going to kind of sketch around it. I often don't color in the top because the eyelid would be casting a shadow, and so I demonstrate that by not fully coloring that in. Now I always take the select tool. This is one of the few spaces that I allow the select tool to kind of dictate an area because it is such a, the pupil's such a perfectly circular thing in our eyes that I do in fact come in and I just make sure it's circular. I'm just going to hit backspace and erase out the selection, and then I'm going to come in here and sort of refine those areas because of how I sketch. To make it that perfect circle, I've got to come back in and make sure these are all connected because my sketching is so, my lines aren't straight, and so I have to come back in and make sure they are. Okay. Light source again is coming from over here, and that means that I'm going to have a burst of light against the opposite side of the pupil, where the pupil it will be catching the light there, and then really fill in the light on this side before it goes into shadow on this side. So first thing I typically do is add that burst of light. As you come to the edge, our irises are always surrounded by a darker bit of color, so I will feather out this thicker color when I get to the edge because it needs to be darker. I also won't bring the highlight all the way to the inner side of this pupil here. I will a bit. I mean, it'll be brighter than it is now, but it won't be as bright as everything else. The highlight does come all the way under the eye. All of this would be catching light. But after I come under, so now that I'm here, I need to start feathering that out. Now it's going to go into shadow. So I'm just lessening my pin pressure because even up here I'm feathering out this section up here as well. I just need to make sure that it's blended nicely. And so then I always will add sort of a light flare on the eye. It's what makes our eyes look wet, right? Like they pick up the light really nicely. And I'm going to do that on the side of the highlight opposite from the side that we added the burst of light to the pupil. And I'm just going to fill it with the foreground color, which I've already changed to my off-white color of choice. And I'm going to hit OK. Select, deselect, and pull back out. And we have an eye. All right, so that is how you draw an eye, specifically a woodpecker's eye. In the floating nether next to me, I have other art videos of art tutorials I have done. So I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Take care.